Ladies and gentlemen, disappearing is not about giving up or walking away from your responsibilities. It's about stepping away to create space for clarity and transformation. In a world that constantly demands your attention, disappearing is an act of reclaiming your focus, your energy, and your sense of self. When you disappear, you remove yourself from the noise of the world, the endless opinions, comparisons, and expectations that cloud your vision and distract you from your purpose. Disappearing is a declaration that you are choosing yourself, that you are prioritizing your growth and your journey over the distractions that pull you in 100 directions. The power of disappearing lies in the quiet. It's in the moments when you step away from the chaos and let yourself breathe, when you disconnect from everything that doesn't serve you and tune in to the voice within. The world thrives on constant motion, constant activity, and constant noise, but transformation requires stillness. When you disappear, you give yourself permission to pause, to reflect, and to recalibrate. You step into a space where you can hear your own thoughts, free from the opinions and judgments of others. In that silence, you begin to reconnect with your true self, the self that's been buried beneath the weight of external pressures. Disappearing allows you to take control of your narrative. So often people live their lives based on the expectations of others, family, friends, society. They make decisions to please others, to fit in, to conform. But when you disappear, you take back your story. You step away from the roles you've been playing and the identities others have placed upon you. You give yourself the freedom to ask, who am I? What do I want? What kind of life do I want to create? These are questions that cannot be answered in the midst of constant distraction. They require solitude, introspection, and honesty. The act of disappearing is also an act of courage. It's not easy to step away from the familiar, to disconnect from the world and the people you know. It can feel lonely, even frightening, to retreat into yourself. But it's in that solitude that you find your strength. When you disappear, you're not running the way you're running towards something greater. You're giving yourself the time and space to heal, to grow, and to transform. You're choosing to prioritize your future over your present, your potential over your comfort. There's a certain magic in stepping back and allowing yourself to reset. When you disappear, you create the opportunity to break free from old patterns, toxic environments, and limiting beliefs. You step outside of the routines that have kept you stuck and open yourself up to new possibilities. Disappearing doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. It means removing yourself from the distractions and noise that prevent you from seeing the bigger picture. It means stepping back so you can gain perspective, so you can see where you've been and where you want to go. And in disappearing, you allow yourself to focus fully on the work that needs to be done. Transformation isn't easy. It requires discipline, commitment, and a willingness to face yourself honestly. When you disappear, you eliminate the excuses, the distractions, and the external pressures that keep you from doing the work. You create a space where you can confront your fears, address your weaknesses, and build your strengths. It's in that space away from the spotlight that real change happens. The power of disappearing lies in its ability to bring you back to your essence. It's a reminder that your worth isn't determined by the world's validation, that your journey doesn't need to be on display for others to approve. Disappearing is a gift. You give yourself a chance to step away, to reflect, and to realign with the life you're meant to live. It's a choice to take control, to grow, and to transform into the person you've always been capable of becoming. Letting go is one of the most powerful and transformative acts you can undertake, yet it is also one of the most challenging. We hold on tightly to people, habits, beliefs, and even pain because they feel familiar, and familiarity often feels safe. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. To truly grow, to evolve into the person you are meant to be, you must be willing to release what no longer serves you. Letting go is not about loss. It's about making space for new ideas, new opportunities, and a new version of yourself to emerge. There's a weight that comes with holding on. It's the weight of unfulfilled expectations, past mistakes, toxic relationships, and limiting beliefs. Each of these things acts like an anchor, keeping you tethered to a place you've outgrown. You may not realize how much energy you're spending just to hold on, just to keep these things alive in your mind and heart. That energy could be redirected toward building something better, something greater. But first, you must release the weight. You must let go of the idea that you can move forward while still carrying the burdens of your past. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or denying what has happened. It doesn't mean pretending that pain didn't occur or that people didn't hurt you. It means choosing not to let those things define you. It means refusing to let the past have power over your present and future. When you let go, you take back control. You acknowledge what happened, you take the lessons from it, and you move forward lighter, freer, and more focused on what lies ahead. Letting go often involves facing fears. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing. What if letting go means being alone? What if it means leaving behind something you thought you needed? These questions can keep you stuck in a cycle of doubt and hesitation. But the truth is, the unknown is where growth happens. When you release your grip on what you know, no matter how flawed or painful it may be, you open yourself up to possibilities you could never imagine. Growth requires risk, and letting go is the first leap of faith you take into the unknown. Another challenge of letting go is breaking free from attachments. We often attach ourselves to people, things, or identities that feel integral to who we are. You might hold on to a relationship because you believe you can't live without that person. You might cling to a job because it feels like your only option. You might stick with old habits because they're easier than building new ones. But these attachments can limit you. They can keep you small, keep you stuck in a version of yourself that doesn't align with who you're becoming. Letting go of these attachments isn't about loss, it's about liberation. Letting go is also about forgiving not just others, but yourself. It's about forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made, for the times you've fallen short, and for the opportunities you've missed. Self-forgiveness is a critical step in growth because it allows you to release the guilt and shame that hold you back. You cannot grow if you're constantly punishing yourself for the past. Letting go of self-blame is an act of self-compassion, a recognition that you are human and that your worth is not diminished by your imperfections. There's a profound strength in letting go. It requires you to trust in the process, to believe that by releasing what you're holding on to, you'll make room for something better. It's a declaration of faith in yourself and in the journey ahead. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means giving yourself the freedom to grow into the person you're meant to be. Growth requires room to breathe, and that space can only be created by letting go of what no longer belongs in your life. When you let go, you shed the layers of who you were to reveal the essence of who you are becoming. You step out of old patterns, break free from outdated expectations, and walk away from what no longer serves your highest good. It's not an easy process, and it's not always immediate. Sometimes letting go is a gradual release, a series of small steps that add up to a monumental transformation. But with every step you take, you move closer to your potential, closer to the life you are meant to create, and closer to the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of becoming. Solitude is often misunderstood. In a world that celebrates constant connection, endless activity, and the noise of busy lives, being alone can seem like a punishment rather than a gift. But solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is a sacred space where you can meet yourself without distraction, where you can hear your thoughts clearly and reconnect with the parts of you that have been drowned out by the world's demands. To embrace solitude is to embrace a rare opportunity for growth, reflection, and self-discovery. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness comes from feeling disconnected even when surrounded by others, but solitude is the opposite. It's the profound connection you cultivate with yourself when no one else is around. In solitude, you are free from the expectations of others, free from the need to perform or please. You don't have to wear a mask or play a role. You can be completely authentic, stripped of the layers the world asks you to wear. In that authenticity, you find strength and clarity. When you embrace solitude, you create space for introspection. It's in those quiet moments that you can ask the deep questions: who am I? What do I truly want? Where am I going? These questions often go unanswered in the rush of daily life, but in solitude, they rise to the surface. Introspection allows you to evaluate your choices, to understand your motivations, and to gain insight into your own heart and mind. It's in the stillness that you find the answers you've been searching for, not from others, but from within yourself. Solitude is where healing begins. When life leaves you scarred through loss, betrayal, failure, it can be tempting to drown the pain in noise and distractions. But true healing doesn't come from avoiding the hurt. It comes from sitting with it, facing it, and allowing yourself to process it. Solitude gives you the space to do that. It allows you to feel what you need to feel without judgment, to grieve, to forgive, and to begin the process of moving forward. In the quiet, you learn that your strength is greater than your pain and that you have the resilience to overcome even the deepest wounds. Solitude is a time for renewal. In the hustle of life, your energy can become depleted, your mind cluttered, and your spirit weighed down. Solitude offers a chance to recharge. It's a moment to breathe deeply, to let go of the stresses and demands that have been piling up, and to restore your sense of balance. In solitude, you can reflect on what truly matters, prioritize your goals, and let go of the things that are draining your energy unnecessarily. It's a reset button for your mind, body, and soul. In solitude, creativity flourishes. Some of the greatest ideas, breakthroughs, and innovations have been born in moments of quiet reflection. Without the distractions of the outside world, your mind has the freedom to explore, to dream, and to imagine new possibilities. Solitude is where you connect with your inner voice, the voice of intuition and creativity that often gets silenced in the noise of everyday life. When you embrace solitude, you open yourself up to inspiration and allow your imagination to take flight. Solitude also teaches you the value of your own company. When you're comfortable being alone, you realize that you don't need external validation to feel whole. You learn to enjoy your own presence, to appreciate your thoughts and ideas, and to take pride in your independence. This sense of self-sufficiency is empowering. It reminds you that you are enough just as you are, and that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else. Solitude helps you build a relationship with yourself, one that is grounded in self-respect and self-love. To embrace solitude is to embrace freedom. It's the freedom to disconnect from the expectations and pressures of others, to step away from the noise and chaos, and to reconnect with your true self. It's an opportunity to reflect on where you've been and to dream about where you want to go. Solitude gives you the power to reclaim your focus, to realign with your purpose, and to reset your life on your own terms. When you embrace solitude, you realize that the quiet isn't empty, it's full of potential. It's in the stillness that you grow, that you heal, that you transform. You find strength in the silence and clarity in the calm. Solitude becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can retreat not to escape, but to discover who you are and what you're capable of becoming. It's a space that's entirely yours, a sacred moment where transformation begins. Rebuilding from the ground up is no small task. It's an act of courage, resilience, and unwavering faith in yourself. It requires a willingness to confront the truth about where you are, acknowledge what's no longer working, and take bold steps toward creating a life that aligns with your purpose and potential. Rebuilding means starting over, not with a sense of failure, but with the wisdom gained from every lesson, every setback, and every challenge you've endured. It's about tearing down what's unstable, what's outdated, and what's no longer serving you so you can construct a stronger, more purposeful foundation for your future. The first step in rebuilding is recognizing what needs to change. This isn't easy. It requires honesty and self-awareness to look at your life and admit what's holding you back. It could be toxic relationships, unproductive habits, or beliefs that no longer align with your growth. It might even be aspects of yourself, fears, doubts, or behaviors that you need to address and transform. Facing these truths can feel overwhelming, but it's a necessary step. You can't rebuild if you're clinging to what's broken. You must be willing to clear the rubble, to let go of what's crumbling, and to make space for something new to emerge. Rebuilding from the ground up demands humility. It's not about pretending you have all the answers or trying to piece together a perfect life. It's about starting with what you have, no matter how little it may seem, and trusting that you can create something extraordinary. Humility allows you to learn, to grow, and to build without fear of judgment or comparison. It reminds you that every great structure starts with a single brick, every great journey with a single step. When you approach rebuilding with humility, you give yourself permission to be a work in progress, knowing that progress is what matters most. This process also requires vision. Rebuilding isn't just about repairing what's broken, it's about creating something entirely new. It's about looking beyond the present moment and imagining the life you want to live, the person you want to become, and the legacy you want to leave behind. Vision gives you direction. It helps you stay focused on your goals, even when the work feels difficult or the progress feels slow. Without a clear vision, it's easy to get lost in the process, to feel discouraged or uncertain. But with a vision, every step you take is purposeful, every action meaningful, and every effort part of a greater plan. Rebuilding from the ground up is not a linear journey. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when it feels like the progress you've made has been undone, when the weight of starting over feels too heavy to bear. But these moments are not failures, they are opportunities to reassess, to refine, and to strengthen your foundation. They remind you that rebuilding is a process, not a destination, and that every challenge you face is shaping you into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Discipline is essential when rebuilding. It's not enough to dream of a better life, you have to put in the work to make it a reality. This means showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is the bridge between your vision and your reality. It's the act of laying each brick with care and intention, of making choices that align with your goals, and of staying committed to the process no matter how long it takes. Discipline is what turns your dreams into a tangible, lasting structure. Rebuilding also requires patience. When you're starting from the ground up, progress can feel painfully slow. It's tempting to rush, to cut corners, or to settle for less just to see results. But true transformation takes time. A strong foundation isn't built overnight, it's built through consistent effort, careful planning, and unwavering perseverance. Patience allows you to trust the process, to stay focused on the long-term vision, and to appreciate the growth that happens along the way. Support is another key element in rebuilding. While the journey is deeply personal, you don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who believe in your vision, and who encourage you to keep going when the road gets tough. Seek out mentors, friends, or resources that align with your goals and values. Building a strong support system doesn't mean relying on others to do the work for you. It means leaning on them for strength, guidance, and encouragement when you need it most. At its core, rebuilding from the ground up is an act of self-belief. It's about trusting that no matter how broken, lost, or defeated you may feel, you have the power to create something beautiful from the pieces. It's about knowing that your worth is not defined by your past, but by your potential. Rebuilding is a declaration that you refuse to settle for anything less than the life you deserve, that you are willing to put in the work to rise again, stronger and more determined than ever before. Becoming unrecognizable isn't just about changing how others perceive you, it's about transforming into the version of yourself that even you might not have believed possible. It's about stepping away from who you've been, breaking free from old patterns, and evolving into a person defined not by past limitations, but by untapped potential. This transformation is not superficial. It's a deep, intentional process that requires you to completely reimagine your identity, habits, and future. To become unrecognizable, you first need to let go of the story you've been telling yourself about who you are. Many of us carry around narratives that limit us. I'm not good enough, this is just how I've always been, or people like me can't succeed. These stories are comfortable because they're familiar, but they're also chains. They keep you tethered to a version of yourself that no longer serves you. To transform, you must rewrite your story. You must believe that you are capable of more than what you've been, and that your future is not bound by your past. Transformation begins with radical self-awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. This means taking an honest look at your life, your choices, and your habits. What's working? What's holding you back? Where are you selling yourself short? This process isn't easy. It requires humility and courage to confront your flaws and weaknesses. But in that confrontation, you gain clarity. You see not only what needs to change, but also what you're capable of achieving. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which transformation is built. Becoming unrecognizable also requires discipline. It's not enough to dream of change. You must put in the work to make it happen. This means committing to new habits, even when they're uncomfortable. It means showing up for yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, repeated actions, and an unshakable determination to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Discipline is what turns your vision into reality. One of the most powerful tools for transformation is self-investment. To become unrecognizable, you must pour time, energy, and resources into your own growth. This might mean learning new skills, pursuing education, seeking mentorship, or focusing on your physical and mental health. When you invest in yourself, you're sending a message to your subconscious that you're worth the effort, that your future is worth fighting for. Self-investment is an act of self-respect, a declaration that you value your potential and are willing to do what it takes to unlock it. Transformation also involves stepping outside of your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen where it's safe and familiar. It happens in the places that challenge you, that stretch you, that force you to adapt and evolve. To become unrecognizable, you must embrace discomfort. You must be willing to take risks, face your fears, and push through the resistance that comes with change. Each step you take outside your comfort zone brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. Another key aspect of becoming unrecognizable is setting boundaries. As you grow and change, not everyone in your life will support your transformation. Some people will try to pull you back into old patterns because your growth challenges their comfort. This is why boundaries are essential. You must protect your energy, your time, and your vision. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who believe in your potential, and who encourage your growth. Let go of relationships, environments, and influences that hold you back or undermine your progress. Becoming unrecognizable is also about adopting a mindset of relentless positivity and belief in your potential. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending life is easy. It means choosing to see every obstacle as an opportunity, every failure as a lesson, and every setback as a setup for a greater comeback. Your mindset shapes your reality. When you believe in your ability to transform, you create the conditions for that transformation to occur. A positive, growth-oriented mindset is the fuel that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is difficult. The physical transformation is often the most visible aspect of becoming unrecognizable, but it's only one part of the process. Yes, you might change how you look, getting healthier, stronger, or adopting a new style, but the real change happens beneath the surface. It's in the way you carry yourself, the confidence you exude, and the way you approach life with renewed purpose and determination. Physical changes are a reflection of the deeper internal transformation that's taking place. Becoming unrecognizable is about redefining every aspect of your life. It's about elevating your standards, demanding more from yourself, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. It's about aligning your actions with your values, focusing on your goals, and living a life that's authentic and fulfilling. This process is not about impressing others or proving anything to the world. It's about becoming the person you've always been capable of being. To become unrecognizable, you must be willing to embrace the unknown. You must step into the future with faith in your ability to create the life you desire. Transformation is not a destination, it's a journey, a lifelong commitment to growth, to learning, and to becoming the best version of yourself. Rising as your true self is one of the most powerful and liberating transformations you can undertake. It's not about trying to become someone else or chasing an image that the world expects you to fit into. It's about stripping away all the layers of expectation, fear, and self-doubt that have been placed upon you over the years and uncovering the person you were always meant to be. It's about standing tall in your authenticity, owning your story, and living a life aligned with your deepest values and purpose. To rise as your true self, you must first confront the version of yourself that you've been conditioned to be. From a young age, we're taught who we should be by family, by society, by culture. We're told what's acceptable, what's admirable, and what's attainable. Over time, these influences can shape us into a version of ourselves that isn't entirely genuine. We adopt beliefs, behaviors, and aspirations that may not truly resonate with who we are. Rising as your true self begins with identifying these layers of conditioning and having the courage to question them. This process demands self-reflection. You need to ask yourself the hard questions: who am I when no one is watching? What do I truly care about? What brings me joy, fulfillment, and peace? These are not easy questions to answer, especially when your life has been built around pleasing others or meeting external standards. But self-reflection is essential because it reconnects you with the core of who you are. It's a process of rediscovery, a journey back to the essence of your being, where your true passions, strengths, and dreams reside. Rising as your true self requires letting go of the need for approval. This is one of the most challenging aspects of the journey because so much of our identity is tied to how others perceive us. We fear rejection, judgment, or criticism, so we hide parts of ourselves that don't fit into the mold. But to rise as your true self, you must release the weight of these fears. You must embrace the understanding that your worth is not determined by others' opinions. It's determined by your authenticity, by your courage to be real, and by the life you create for yourself. This journey also calls for resilience. When you begin to shed the old version of yourself, not everyone will understand or support your transformation. Some people may resist the change, especially if your growth challenges their own comfort zones. You may lose relationships, face criticism, or encounter resistance, but this is the price of authenticity. To rise as your true self, you must be willing to stand firm in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely. Resilience is what allows you to keep moving forward, to honor your journey, and to remain true to yourself despite external pressures. Another key component of rising as your true self is embracing vulnerability. Being authentic means showing up as you are, imperfections and all. It means allowing yourself to be seen, not just in your strengths, but also in your struggles. Vulnerability can feel risky. It exposes you to judgment and rejection, but it's also where connection and growth begin. When you're willing to be vulnerable, you invite deeper relationships, greater self-acceptance, and the opportunity to grow in ways you never thought possible. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage in its purest form. Rising as your true self also means aligning your actions with your values. It's not enough to know who you are, you must live in a way that reflects your authenticity. This means making choices that honor your beliefs, pursuing goals that resonate with your purpose, and standing up for what matters to you. It requires integrity, the willingness to act in accordance with your truth, even when it's difficult. Alignment between your inner self and outer actions creates a sense of harmony, fulfillment, and empowerment that is unmatched. This journey involves rediscovering your voice. Over time, many of us lose our voice. We become hesitant to speak up, to share our thoughts, or to express our needs. Rising as your true self means reclaiming that voice and using it with confidence. It's about trusting your intuition, believing in your ideas, and knowing that your perspective matters. Your voice is a powerful tool for change, not only in your own life, but also in the world around you. When you speak your truth, you inspire others to do the same. Self-love is a cornerstone of rising as your true self. To live authentically, you must accept yourself fully, the good, the bad, and everything in between. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or improvement, but it does mean you approach yourself with compassion. You recognize that you are worthy of love and respect just as you are, and you treat yourself accordingly. Self-love creates the foundation for confidence, resilience, and the courage to be real in every aspect of your life. Rising as your true self is a process of liberation. It frees you from the constraints of living for others, from the exhaustion of wearing masks, and from the limitations of self-doubt. It allows you to live with authenticity, to pursue your passions without apology, and to build a life that reflects your values and dreams. This transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you already are. It's about stepping into your power, embracing your uniqueness, and living a life that feels honest, fulfilling, and true to your core. This journey of disappearing and transforming is not about escaping the world. It's about redefining how you show up in it. It's about stepping away from distractions and noise to focus on rebuilding yourself brick by brick into someone stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. By embracing solitude, letting go of the old, and rising as your true self, you create the opportunity to reclaim your power and live life on your terms. Transformation is not an event, it's a choice, a commitment to become the person you were destined to be.